Giamatti gonna do it right. Movie night. Movie night. Paul Giamatti gonna do it right.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Friday, April 11th, 2025. This is The Drop. I'm Jay Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, back in the mix, it's Tas Melas.
Podcast listeners, basketball lovers, this one's for you.
And over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Yes, Tassie back from Cancun. Little trip with the fam. Good times?
Absolutely. Yeah, I got off the resort. That's when you know it was good.
Oh, wow, that's fun.
Yeah, sure.
What'd you do? You're saying you stayed at the resort and then actually left it.
Yeah.
For a couple hours.
Yeah, several hours. Good. Isla Mujeres is very beautiful.
Ooh.
Yeah. You ever been, JD?
I have not.
Rode the golf carts around.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
Nice.
It was fun.
Good weather, I assume.
Yeah, and we actually went for a night in Cancun. Now that
Look
I
at
think
you
about
guys.
it.
Jeez.
Yeah, I just hated the resort. Asked me about the resort. It was terrible. No, it was good. All good. It was fun, yeah.
Great. Well, hopefully you're well rested, ready to go for the second season. Oh, you laugh. No?
Yeah.
Didn't sleep
Trips
well?
with kids.
Yeah.
No, it was nice. It was nice. Yeah. Let's go, NBA. Final season. The final weekend is never that big of a deal, but this one feels like they got it good.
You're right, and we will get into that. We're going to get you all set for the final weekend of the regular season because there's still a lot up in the air. I think there's something like 15 actual spots that are not locked in yet, which is nuts in terms of specific seating. But we'll get into that. You also have some worst of the week nominees, great batch of nominees this week. And we'll end with some rapid fire fun. It's been so long, so we had to do some rapid fire that's not so rapid questions at the end. But we had some games last night, some good ones. The big one, Anthony Edwards scoring 44 points in the Wolves' key victory over the Grizzlies. He was on fire, especially in the third quarter. He had 18, where the Wolves couldn't miss. They had 52 points, Tas, in that third quarter. 18 of 21 from the floor and 7 of 8 from deep. And I think the one miss from deep was Randall in the corner. And don't worry, Anthony Edwards had the huge putback slam. So what a quarter from them, and sort of blew the game open. Yeah,
it was the highest scoring quarter in the NBA this season, dropping 52 points. Got a little bounce here and there. Julius Randle with a fadeaway from the free throw line had a nice bounce. But this was just a super fun game to start it off. Pre-game, I think the music in Memphis is just too good. It's almost too good. I think the opposing team actually gets great music.
Oh, they get too hyped.
Yeah, it's like you could just play some poopy music, but it's so good in Memphis that the Minnesota music was so good. So this was a great nationally televised game. It was close at half until that third quarter where Minnesota went off 52-25. A numeric palindrome, if you will. They won, pretty fun. They started spanking. Even Rudy Gobert's hitting free throws. Yeah, they decided to get hot. Julius Randle hitting 5 shots in a row to start the quarter. Like, he was on fire. Everything just going their way. The first 6 minutes, they didn't miss. I mean, they just literally couldn't miss. Anthony Edwards was the guy you can look at and say, wow. Is it playoff time yet for this guy? Because if he can light it up 4 times out of 7 like this, where he's now shooting the 3 ball like this, Minnesota can win a series.
Of course.
Minnesota can win 2. So he shot 7 of 11 from 3, 18 points in that quarter, 44 overall. I mean, this team is so fun.
Well, they're perplexing, too.
They are. Yeah.
I mean, we had just seen them. You weren't here, obviously, but they had given up, what was it, a 24-point fourth quarter lead?
That's what it was.
And then they rebound with this. So that's good to see. But they have extreme highs and sort of, at times, extreme lows.
Yeah. They had an 8-game win streak in March. Then they lose that wild Pacers game in overtime where Obi Toppin's going off. They lost to the Pelicans. Then they get a 5-game win streak going. Then they lose that game to the Milwaukee Bucks where they looked great until the fourth quarter when they gave up that 24-point lead. And now there's a 3-way tie for 6th, which is super fun that we'll get to. But this was, Minnesota looking incredible offensively and defensively for a lot of this game. Just super fun because Morant looked great for a lot of this game.
Yep. Even Bane was on fire in the first half.
Yeah.
I will say it sort of changed. It felt like it changed when Jaren Jackson Jr. and Zach Edey got into foul trouble there in the second half. They both picked up 4 fouls, and that did open things up for a lot of drives to the rim and getting inside for the Wolves. So they took advantage of that when those big guys got in foul trouble. And yeah, you're right about the Randall. It was one of those games. Like, he had 31 and 10. He was also playmaking. Some of his shots were like insane. Like, his legs were flailing everywhere. You said the one that bounced like 10 feet up in the air and went. It was just one of those nights. But he is such like a, like, I think Trey did his whole like super X Factor type of thing list a couple weeks ago when we get into the postseason. He is that. Like, you're going to need, and man, it's like, oh, you're like, I hope it works. Like, you're going to need a big Julius Randle series or 2, I think, to go along with Anthony Edwards.
Absolutely.
Like, you feel confidence in Anthony Edwards going to bring it more times than not. Maybe he has the odd shooting night where it's a stinker, but it's Randle is like, man, he has these games and these moments. And he does the bully ball and all that. And then he goes disappearing sometimes.
Yes. So. That is the conundrum with this team. Will he replace Cat in some way? Because I know we look at the Cat trade and say, well, they lost his trade. Cat's been great in New York. At the same time, he wasn't on the floor in fourth quarters in the playoffs last year. He just wasn't. They didn't need him. They went to Naz Reid because their bench is still great. Their bench has the 5th best net rating in the NBA. So it's still damn good to support Anthony Edwards. DiVincenzo looks great. Naz Reid looks great, but you do need Randle to come through sometimes, and that's what it is. It just has to be sometimes. And in this game, yes, he was scorching hot. So you need these a few times every single series. Will it happen? I don't know. But this team looks like it is together, even though we see these erratic losses like the Milwaukee one or the Indiana one. Like Alex Rodriguez, their owner, is now at road games in the front row, giving it. He's excited. I feel like this team has some chemistry going. They are a good team you don't want to face.
And what about the Grizzlies on the other side? Are you like, losing confidence in their ability to maybe even get into the playoffs? Like, it's looking more and more likely that they're going to be in a play-in situation, so they're going to have to win their way in. What do you think about them after the coaching change and how they're playing? And there's not a lot of defense at times. What's your vibe from this squad?
Yeah, there's good things going for them offensively, for sure. There's no doubt about that. The defense is the question. Like, you see flashes of Zach Edey even to go along with Bane and Morant, who had some spectacular moments. But you lose Jalen Wells now for the season with the broken wrist. The defense, which wasn't all that great. One guy
that gives you a little bit of defense.
Yeah. Now, it wasn't all that great in the first place. Now without him, it's you got to be skeptical of this team. But again, they can light it up.
Yeah.
So they can outscore you at times.
And we'll get to Ja Morant and his new grenade celebration much later in the show. We'll save that for a rapid fire question. But this guy, he's got all the weapons now. After he got the fine for the finger guns, and now he was like pulling out like an assault rifle and the grenades. He is just gonna keep waiting for Silver to keep calling him or keep finding him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you get away with grenades? I'm not sure. Has he found a loophole?
Yeah, good question.
In sort of weapon celebrations, it feels like it.
Yeah. Yes. I don't think you can get fined for that, but tossing it into the crowd is an interesting thing.
Well, if he does it on the road, you can't do it on the road, maybe.
That's the question. I don't know. It's freaking weird.
It's very weird. But we'll get to that a little bit later. Anything else on Wolves Grizzlies? All right, let's keep it going. Cade Cunningham scored 36 points. Pistons beat the Knicks 115-106. Possible first round playoff matchup. I will say New York without 2 starters. No OG Anunoby, out with the thumb. No Josh Hart, out with the knee. So those guys sitting due to injuries. I mean, PJ Tucker played 27 minutes.
PJ Tucker's back, baby.
Yeah, he's back, baby. So that's sort of like, you got to sort of step back and remind yourself of that before you get maybe too excited about the Pistons continuing to play well and getting a big win here. And again, we could see these teams in a matchup, but your takeaways from last night.
Yeah, these games obviously in March and April here are super weird. PJ Tucker is thrown out there to play a lot of minutes. OG Anunoby has been hurt a lot, so you do have to worry a little bit, I suppose. I mean,
it's a thumb.
Yeah, it's not a big worry. It's the combination of Tom Thibodeau playing his guys a lot of minutes, and then you lose guys for several minutes. Even Jalen Brunson left this game turning his ankle. He did come back, but he just hasn't looked incredibly great since he's come back. So that's the worrisome part to go along with all these injuries and being a top-heavy team. That being said, they lose and it's okay because you don't have your guys to throw at Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham was picking his matchups and saying, all right, Deuce McBride, no problem.
Yeah.
I'll take you in the post. So he got surgical in that second half.
And they put Brunson in a ton of action as well.
Yeah, both of those guys.
Yeah.
He said, I'll pick Deuce McBride over Jalen Brunson. Good pick. And so he went to town. But the Pistons overall shooting, I think it was 57%, and getting points in the paint after points in the paint. Scoring a lot, 66-48. They scored the 5th most points at the paint, while the Knicks allowed 20th most. And seeing a guy like Jalen Duren go to town down there, 9 for 9 in this game. That's the thing about what I wouldn't want to see. If I'm a Knicks fan, I don't want to see this matchup. No. I would rather see the Knicks lose these 2 games here over the weekend, so they could drop to 4th and play the Milwaukee Bucks. They school the Milwaukee Bucks. They beat them every single time they've played them. They play the big guys off the court because they're just too fast and too athletic for Brook Lopez, especially. And so that's why they win. And that's why they've won every single time. But the Pistons, they can outfight you. This series, if there's any that's going to look like a sort of a 90s battle, it would be this series, I think, because the Pistons, they want to fight. You saw 16 second chance points in this game from them. JB Bickerstaff gets them going. And I was surprised. I thought we were going to get a fight in this game. Precious Achiuwa dunked on Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah.
And he went directly into his chest after it. So I thought Isaiah Stewart would be a little upset. The Knicks bench jumped up a bit because it was an awesome dunk. It's right in front of them, in front of that bench. But Isaiah Stewart was pretty calm and collected.
He did.
He just
incredibly
chilled out. Yeah.
I think he was like, damn, that was all my bad. He had a brutal turnover that created the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who he was throwing it to. He thought maybe someone was cutting back door. He just gave it to the Knicks, and then Precious banged on him in transition.
Yeah.
But you're right.
That was
took
awesome.
It. No fireworks from him as you get ready for the postseason. But, man, I hear what you're saying about the Knicks. It's weird that the Knicks would want to avoid the Pistons. Think about that.
Yeah.
And they'd want to take on the Bucks instead. I get what you're saying, though. Cade has cooked them all season long, because he's just too big for these guys, those guards. And it's gonna be different. Obviously, they might put OG on him. They obviously might get more hard on him. You're gonna get more scrappy. But Cade getting to his spots all night in this game, 16 of 24 from the floor. He's averaging 31, 5, and 8 in the 4 games against the Knicks. Mm-hmm. So shooting 56%, hitting threes. I think he hit 13 of 25 three-pointers in the season series. Only turned the ball over 10 times. That jumped out to me as well in those 4 games. That's the one knock on him at times. You look at other series against other teams this season, it's in the 20s, 25 sometimes, 10. Mm-hmm. That's nothing. You're going to live with that, with the 8 assists per game as well. Great assist to turnover ratio. So, yeah, that's fascinating, because I know we could even talk about the Bucks, who are playing the Pistons this weekend twice, tonight and then Sunday. Like, they could get funky with what they want to do as well and who they want to play. So it's like a staring contest between these teams. Maybe the Pistons, I would think, just want to keep winning. Like, win here and continue to build your confidence and go into the postseason. Yeah,
they are coming off a losing streak before this game, so
that was nice to stop that.
They needed that, but they win this game here where they hit 3 less threes than the Knicks. They didn't shoot well from the free throw line. They shot, only 72%. They left a lot of points on the table, other than Cade primarily. Even though they shot 57%, it was a lot Cade and Duren inside in this game, and my man Ron Holland. But they could have done a few more things, and still. With the Knicks, I just feel like they can find their spots against this team. Again, points in the paint. They can find points. Like you said, the Cade lines against this Knicks team all season long. I think the Knicks would rather play the big bucks, but we shall see.
I think it's going to be this series if I really look at these games this weekend. So I think it's going to be Knicks 3, Pistons 6. And I feel pretty confident about my prediction that I've been saying for a couple weeks now, that the Pistons, if that is the matchup, they're going to take one of those first 2 games in New York. And then that series is going to get really interesting really quickly. I'm feeling very confident about that they take one in Madison Square Garden, and then suddenly it's a 1-1 series going back to Detroit. And that's what you always want in a close series, right?
For sure.
I feel like that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think the Pistons, they got things to play for. They have the emotion. They play for their coach. Jaden Ivey, after breaking that fibula on January 1st, now cleared for basketball activities. Yeah. Could show up in this playoff series.
I guess Tobias Harris just came back for them as well. He had missed some games.
He hit some shots in this game, too.
Absolutely contributed. All right, well, they got the Pacers securing a top 4 seed in the East. We know that because they got the 114-112 win over the shorthanded Cavaliers. Halliburton scored 8 of his 23 during a key run there in the fourth quarter. It was a very close game. Very close game. And the Cavs were playing nobody. Like, they sat 4 of their 5 starters. Jared Allen started, grabbed 10 rebounds in the first half, and then they shut him down. So this was like the second and third team Cavs. They flexed and showed off how strong they are in their depth. Reggie Miller couldn't stop talking about it. My God, how many times did he bring it up? But it was impressive that they were even in this game and fighting, but the Pacers got it done, Tas. Your takeaways?
Yeah, there isn't a lot to take from this. No. Hands got to be clapped. For the Indiana Pacers coming into the season, you wouldn't think that they'd be the top 4 seed.
No, we had them on the under.
Yeah.
We had them just under, which I think was 46.5 or maybe 45.5, something. Yeah. It was somewhere around there.
Yeah, with the 76ers obviously falling apart, but you just wouldn't think that they would be hosting a playoff series. So, much respect to them. Yeah. Period. That being said, I hear what Reggie Miller's saying. They got this Cleveland Cavaliers team has some depth.
Yeah. I mean, he brought it up. I swear he brought it up every 50 seconds. And he was excited. This was their final regular season game on TNT. His, right? Of course. This past week sort of caught me by surprise. Like, I know we have postseason games, so it's like a little different. But it is the final week for TNT. Tuesday night. That whole crew. Then Thursday night, I mean, they're going to be together. They'll be on ESPN, but they did a big thing. Did you see them in front of the mansion last night?
Yeah.
Already giving a heartfelt speech. Anyway, Reggie kept bringing up the Cavs, how impressive they were with these guys scrapping. And he's right. He just kept saying it and saying it and saying it.
Yeah, as you said, no Mitchell, no Garland, no Mobley, and Jared Allen goes out there and plays the first half only because he wants to play in all 82 games. I guess that's his thing. And so I guess you got to play 20 minutes. No, he only played 16. That maybe the minutes thing has nothing to do with it. But he's played in 80, and he's leading the league in field goal percentage at 71%. That's freaking high. And so he's out there to play his 82 games. But yeah, Halliburton. It's good to see Halliburton also, playing at peak Halliburton.
Yeah.
These are the best.
This is the best the Pacers have looked like over this last little bit. I think they're on a 6-game win streak, but over the last couple months here, this is by far the best they've looked. A lot of guys got back, a lot of guys healthy, even Neesmith chipping in 22. Siakam had a huge block late in this game. Love Andrew Nembhard. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm a Canadian homer, but he just makes the right plays. Even his defense at the end of that game, that was awesome defense, not biting on shots, staying back, forcing them into a much more difficult 2-point attempt because he took away the 3 from Porter. And he had that play too, just like it's the little things. Like, it was sort of semi-transition. Halliburton has it, gives it to Nembhard, who could attack or not, but he just kicks it right back to Halliburton. Just like smart basketball. Halliburton knocks home his 3, and he hit another one right after that. That's was the separation. And there's a fun team. There's a team you don't really want to see right now. I think of I know the Bucks have turned it around a bit too, but they have no Lillard. But the Pacers, they're clicking at the right time, it feels like. And now they have home court advantage, so that's dangerous.
Yeah, they can definitely go to a second round. Who knows? Them against the Cavs or the Celtics in the second round, depending on where they finish. They could finish 4th, they could finish 3rd. This is a tough team to play. They are so wild in how they get their offense. They find it everywhere. And so, yeah, they got guys. I mean, they are deep. Did Reggie talk about the depth of the Indiana Pacers?
No, I didn't. No. Or did he? No, not as much. No, he was more impressed by just these guys that he probably didn't even know.
I mean, I get it. He doesn't. He doesn't know.
There's some weird,
Javonte Green coming out of nowhere. Jalen Tyson, that guy.
Yeah, the guy. I was glad you said it. I wanted to say it, but I always butcher that guy's name. It's Jalen Tyson.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I never want to say it in that order.
Even as I read it, I hesitated while reading.
Right.
Yeah. But the Pacers have lots of guys. Jarris Walker has turned into this guy, we haven't seen a lot of here in year number 2, but to step out and hit threes the way he hits threes, he looks great. 15 points for him in under 15 minutes off the bench. This team looks really, really good, and they make the right plays. Like you mentioned, Andrew Nembhard's smart plays. This guy had a terrible box score. He didn't look good scoring the ball. He's 1 of 8, but he does the right things. This team just keeps passing and keeps on going. They play like a ball team.
Other games last night, just quickly. Risacher, the Rook, scored a season-high 38 points as the Hawks beat the Nets 133-109, and then the Bucks did extend their win streak to 6 games, 136-111 over the Pelicans.
Risacher, the most points for a rookie this season. It's something. 38 points for him. Good for him. Not only shooting the 3 ball, but from 2-point land. I think he's just getting better from there. And his speed of getting into his 3-point shot, he's not just a, hold on, I'll wait here, I'll just be standing here. I mean, he comes around picks with some speed and hits threes. So it looks like he's growing into that a little bit more. He just turned 20. Happy belated to that guy. He looks so much better. He didn't miss a 2 in this game. And that's the thing. I always think of him as just a 3 and shots at the rim guy, but you could see how he is getting better at the Euro step, nice cuts for dunks. He just looks like a smart ball player. I don't know if there's 38 points or, you look at his stats and say, oh, the most 30-point games of a rookie, 4 of them, and he's hit 5 threes in them. If those stats are really going to take the Rookie of the Year trophy from Stephon Castle, right. I think it's a little late, and Stephon Castle plays more important minutes. He plays the clutch minutes going down to the end of games. But I don't know. You could split this Rookie of the Year trophy in like 10 different ways. 10
right.
different guys. Jalen Wells, this will be the first one you split like 5 ways maybe. Yeah. I mean, there's so many of them that are worthy of it, but none of them have really stolen the thing.
Yeah, I think Castle is the odds-on favorite to still ultimately win it.
I'd say
What's great about Risacher, though, is he's done the opposite of what usually happens with rookies. There are hot starts.
Yep.
There are a great couple months, and then what do? You hit the rookie wall. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of these guys, obviously coming out of college or internationally, like you're not used to playing 70-plus games. Mm-hmm. So, around that 30, 40, 50 mark, oh my God, this is the real grind of the NBA season, and you hit the wall. He has it. He climbed right over it. He's better. He's been better on the back end of his entire season. And I think maybe it'd be a fascinating race if you flipped it. He had started this way because for whatever reason, Rookie of the Year is one of these things, like if you grab it early, it's tough to let go of it. So, it's still an incredible season. He looks like a hell of a player. And this confidence you can just see watching a lot of Hawks games here in Atlanta. It's grown and grown and grown. And it'd be fun to see him in if it's a play-in game or 2 or maybe eventually the playoffs. Love to see the first taste of that. Just pretty fun as a rookie to get in there in these big stakes games. So Good stuff from him. All right, well, let's start talking about that last weekend of the regular season. What is at stake? 15 seeding spots still up for grabs. All 30 teams play tonight, and then they play again on Sunday. So it's a strange schedule. No basketball on Saturday. In the East, the Knicks will be the number 3 seed if they win one of their final 2 games. It's against Cleveland and then at Brooklyn. You got to assume at least they win the Brooklyn one. They might even win against the Cavs tonight, right? I know it's a back-to-back for both of these squads, but we just saw Cleveland not play anyone. I don't know why they would, suddenly bring all their guys back. Not that those scrappy, second and third string Cavs guys couldn't put up a fight, but I think the Knicks will have that number 3 seed. Bucks and Pistons, they're going to play Friday tonight in Detroit and then Sunday in Milwaukee. So if the Bucks win either of those games, they are the number 5 seed. So you talked about the Knicks and maybe how they would want to slide down. What about the Bucks here? Because I heard the NBA Daily discuss whether they should punt these 2 games against Detroit, avoid the Pacers, and drop themselves down to play the Knicks. Which, that's, I mean, I don't know. I go, what? You would want to do that? But do you have an opinion on that? Like, should the Bucks try and go and get revenge against Indiana with a healthy Giannis? Or, I guess, play this Knicks team, which they've had very little success against this year?
I think they'd rather play the Pacers.
I sort of do, too.
The Knicks have destroyed the Bucks in their 3 games. They won by 30-plus, 20-plus. I'm not looking at the stats, and I don't want to look at the stats. I know that Brook Lopez gets played off the floor. They find a way to just be more athletic than the Milwaukee Bucks. I'd rather them play the Bucks go and play that revenge series against the Indiana Pacers.
Okay. I think that's right, and I think it's likely that the Bucks take one of those games. Right. It's very difficult to beat a team twice. I mean, especially if you are playing for something and you want to be the 5th seed. what we're getting at here is it's gonna be Knicks Pistons 3-6, and it's gonna be Pacers
Probably
versus the Bucks 4-5.
But you never know.
Yeah,
I heard the Cavs are deep. Did you see Ty Jerome last night? I mean,
That's good.
He is very good.
Sam Merrill was on fire. Yeah,
they can beat the Knicks tonight.
the Hawks can clinch the number 8 seed with 1 win in their final 2 games. They're at Philadelphia. I mean, it's probably handed to you, and then they're against the Magic, which is interesting because they could be playing them in a 7-8 matchup. I would think the Magic, who are locked into the 7 seed, would be shutting down their guys in that game. Mm-hmm. Point is, Hawks likely the 8 seed, and it will likely be Bulls Heat in the 9-10 matchup.
Yeah,
as you see here.
Yeah, the only one that's locked in of the play-in seeds in either conference is that 7 seed of the Orlando Magic, so they can chill.
Yeah. Western Conference, the logjam. It's exciting. It's difficult to figure out, if we're being honest. The Lakers can clinch the number 3 seed with 1 win, either versus Houston tonight or at Portland. Or I guess a loss by the Clippers or the Nuggets. So the Lakers, looking pretty good for the number 3 seed. The biggest beneficiary of Minnesota's win last night may have been the Warriors when you really get into it, because on Wednesday, I talked about it here on No Dunks, the Warriors lost that stunner to the Spurs on that Harrison Barnes game-winning 3. That shot knocked the Warriors into the play-in tournament, but Minnesota's win last night nudged the Warriors back up to the 6th spot, and the Warriors control their own destiny now in terms of just getting into the playoffs. If they beat the Blazers tonight and then they beat the Clippers on Sunday, they're guaranteed a top 6 seed. So it's sort of funny that helped them out.
Yeah, because Grizzlies did control their own destiny until that game.
And now they don't.
Yeah, exactly.
They're looking like they're going to be a play-in team. But
it is tight for sure.
Yeah, it's like still we're looking at seeds 3 through 8.
8. Yep.
Still a lot of jockeying here with these final 2 games. My question is though, what's the most anticipated game for you, either tonight or Sunday, if you had to pick 1 or 2 that you're like, that's the most important game this weekend?
Well, I think the Warriors managing their destiny here is really important for them. I think they want to get the heck out of the play-in, and they can easily lose their games here this weekend because they have a very tough game on Sunday.
Against the Clippers.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup.
And this is the doubleheader here on ESPN, yeah.
Yeah, if you're watching here, this is a fantastic job by the NBA to schedule, all 15 games, as we said, tonight on Friday as we're watching here, or if you're listening to this on Friday, and then Sunday. Because of that final time slot, the final games on Sunday, Clippers, Warriors, it's important for the Warriors to get some more rest. Because we've seen what Steph, number 1, did with rest. He was awesome. And I say the word rest after he had that pelvic contusion. Yeah. He came back and was balling. The first 3 games, bang, bang, bang. 125 points combined in 3 games for him against the Grizzlies, Lakers, and Nuggets. And then he played the Houston Rockets. Not so good. So they want to avoid that matchup. They do not want that 7 seed against the Houston Rockets. I know you could say, the Houston Rockets can be beat. But the Rockets are very annoying. They throw Amen Thompson on Steph Curry primarily, and they just do a really good job of taking away all the off-ball movement that the Warriors are so good at, all the cuts. They are just so damn good and so damn annoying. Like Jimmy Butler had a poor game that night against the Rockets. I mean, just watching Steph, and the only game you'll ever see him hit only 1 shot, just 3 points against the Rockets. They want to stay the heck away from that, so they got to win.
So you'd rather play the Lakers, which sounds insane to say.
It does.
But they're small.
Yeah.
You can play Draymond a lot of the 5, so you get away with that.
The Rockets are huge. You're right, and they take advantage of that.
Yeah.
The Warriors have a problem. That is one of their problems. Is Jimmy and Draymond are their 4 or 5. They don't want to throw Quentin Post out there to start. I think that's a problem.
Yeah, the 2 most important games tonight are probably that first Bucks-Pistons game, obviously when we're still trying to figure out the seeding in the East. That one's on NBA TV at 7. And then the Grizzlies-Nuggets game is huge, too, of course, for Denver. And the Grizzlies got to keep winning to give themselves any chance to get out. But that was a big one. That's on at 9. And then you said it, that one on Sunday, Warriors-Clippers. I mean, the Warriors are 22-7 since the trade deadline. So they're one of the hottest teams in the entire league. And then the Clippers aren't far behind. They're like 20-9 since the deadline. With a healthy Kawhi in that squad.
And they've won their last 5 games against the Warriors. Weird.
Really?
Yeah. They haven't beat them this season. And it goes back to last season.
Okay.
Yeah, it's strange.
That's odd. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that is a huge one. I mean, it depends a little bit on what happens tonight, but if everybody takes care of business, that's a big one. All right, my final question here as we get set for the weekend. Is there, and I guess I'm looking ahead to next week, is there a potential play-in tournament game that intrigues you the most? And you're right, we only know one actual seeding in the play-in. That's the Magic at 7th. But we do know the Kings are playing the Mavericks. We just don't know who has home court advantage.
Right.
But of all the machinations of this, like, do you have a favorite?
Yeah. Well, the Western Conference is the sexiest. There's no question. Those are going to be the more fun games. So when I'm looking at the Eastern Conference, I'm looking at the Atlanta Hawks getting through because I want to be interested in the 1-8, 2-7 matchups. And I think if the Atlanta Hawks get there against the Boston Celtics, it's going to be interesting. They match up well. They've beaten them twice this year.
Yeah,
beat the champs twice. They beat the champs twice last year. They took 2 games from them the year before in the playoffs, before they were champs. Now, why have the Celtics got better? Well, that's because they added Kristaps Porzingis. That's going to be a problem for the Atlanta Hawks. Size is going to be a problem. And they obviously added Drew Holiday. And they won the title. But the Hawks have been able to beat them. They match up pretty well with the 5-out Boston Celtics. They are athletic. Now, Boston should tramp them. They should just kick their asses if they get there. They should take care of business in that 2-7. No doubt. That being said, is there anything interesting in the Eastern Conference, 1-8 or 2-7 matchups? I'm just looking. No. I am just trying to forge something to be fun for the 1-8, 2-7. Really,
it's like I think if I was like setting the line for how many total wins in the 2 series from whoever is the 7th and 8th seed coming out of the East, what do you even set the line at? Like 2.5? You're probably taking the under for both.
Yeah.
I'm saying both.
Yeah, that's
whoever
why.
The 8th seed is against Cavs, whoever the 7th seed is against the Celtics. Like, you're maybe talking yourself into, I mean, 1 game in each series, maybe, but 2 is like a stretch. So to hit the over 3 in that scenario, I don't think you're doing that.
You're right. Yeah. Out of all those teams, we're talking Heat, Magic, and the Bulls. But the Hawks are the one I think that have.
You think you have more faith in the Hawks to make for an exciting series than the Magic?
Yeah, I love me some Magic, but they lack the guard play, and the Hawks again, they match up to Celtics pretty well.
It's true
for what they.
I'd forgotten they beat them a couple times this year,
and and
then they turned around and lost to the Wizards, didn't they?
Yeah, they lose a lot.
Yeah,
all those teams 7 through 10 in the Eastern Conference, they all lose a lot. But they also beat them twice in the playoffs last year, which is easy to forget. I mean, not last year, 2 years ago, that the Hawks were able to lose 4-2. That's a pretty good 1-8 series. Those 2 wins. Yeah. That's good stuff.
It's more you can ask for. More than you can ask for. All right, well, let's hear from you guys in the stream team. What are you watching for this final regular season weekend? Play-in tournament games you're most excited for? Let us know either in the stream team right now or in the YouTube comments. Let's get to Worst of the Week.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Worst of the Week.
3 nominees, but we got to start with an essential one. The Phoenix Suns.
Worst of the year.
Yes. Well, this team that's got the highest payroll in the NBA won't even be playing in the play-in tournament. So obviously they just fell apart. And they're only going to get worse here because they don't have their draft picks.
Nope.
No. They don't have much flexibility at all. And just if we zoom out here, this team is going to be totally different next year. But let's look at this Durant-Booker era here. This is now 2.5 seasons, 2+ seasons that we've seen. First year, they went to the second round. Last year, they got bounced in the first round, swept.
Yeah.
And here, not even making the play-in tournament. Extremely bad. The Durant-Booker-Beal era, even worse. I mean, this is just Beal's second year with the team. So, yeah, they got to the playoffs once. They never won
a playoff game.
They did not win a playoff game.
That's insane.
Yeah, I was definitely wrong about the Brantley Beal ad. I thought that they would be better. I thought Bradley Beal would play. I thought there would be some emotion on that team, but they've lacked everything in that locker room has just been totally gone. They just don't fight at all. And so, this is a bad team that's about to be worse. Even a pick swap trade that happened last year, a year ago, is coming through for the team that got Phoenix's pick here. Houston Rockets, in a 3-team deal, are using their pick swap to get Phoenix's pick this coming draft. That's great. So the question here is now, do you trade Kevin Durant,
Yes.
who has been so damn good? Yeah.
Oh,
He's been ridiculously phenomenal. He's going to be 37 next year, though. The numbers are great. You're right. With your quick answer, you're totally right.
I don't think you're going to get an incredible package
No.
back is the problem.
Yeah. So that bodes the next question. Do you trade Devin Booker here in his prime where you will get more for him over Kevin Durant just because of how young he is? That is the great question because, again, no draft picks, no cap flexibility. You've got Bradley Beal. He ain't being traded anymore. He's got a no-trade clause. He ain't going nowhere. He's making too much money. Our man John Hollinger called it the worst contract in the NBA as he broke down this Phoenix situation on The Athletic. Yeah, that's right. But he's going to stay there, or he feels like he's going to stay there. So the question is, besides Durant, which seems like he's gone.
Yeah, it's basically assumed in league circles that Kevin Durant is going to be traded. For what? That's to be seen. But yeah, you said that Hollinger article. It's really like Devin Booker feels like the only real card they have to like start a rebuild and actually start over because the way he put it really sort of stopped me in my tracks. Let's say you keep Booker, right? I think he's turning 29 or will be 29, I should say, on opening day next year. 3 years left on his deal. Still a good player. Had a bad year this year when it came to shooting, no doubt. But what's the alternative when you keep Devin Booker? And as Hollinger wrote, you could be doing the Damian Lillard special and winning 30 games with Booker next year while waiting for him to demand a trade out of a hopeless situation. Wow. That feels very realistic to me. Like if you do that, similar scenario with Dame. Like Booker loves the Valley. Suns fans love Booker. Like nobody wants to break it up, but like that was all true with Damian Lillard as well. And you reach a breaking point in your career a little bit. Like what you look around and go, well, what are we doing? How are we going to possibly fix this? Help me, whatever. Yeah. Maybe you then ask for a trade out. And then, of course, your probably trade value starts to go down. And who knows, you get injured, you start to decline a little bit. Like all that could come into play too. The point is like his trade value could be at the highest it's going to be here. So do you act on that? But
yeah,
it's not great. Like, look, you'd be trading Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, but maybe it's the only way out of this. Hollinger was saying, like, you basically trade those guys, maybe both of them, to the Rockets and get all your picks back, get some young talent back, and pivot like that.
Oh, yeah, that's the worrisome part. If you're comparing him to Damian Lillard, is that you get far less than what you got for Damian Lillard. Because excuse me. Damian Lillard was far less of a package that you got back for him than you would for Devin Booker. So you got to do it. You got to do it now. I mean, that's the difference, I think. With Dame a few years older than Devin Booker and just more talent in Portland aside from Damian Lillard. So they were able to do something. While in Phoenix, they don't got anything. No. I mean, they really don't. So, the Lillard package wasn't all that impressive. Wasn't all that incredible. I mean, they got their picks, that's for sure. And we'll see what becomes of that. But I think Devin Booker, if you're going to create anything, if you're going to grow anything, you got to get the package back because the Lillard package, wasn't incredible. So you got to do it. You got to do it now. I think if you're going to do it, you don't wait and see when he demands it, number one, because the package is going to lessen then because everybody will know he wants out. So, yeah, I think you got to do it.
Wow, it's a depressing, quick turnaround from a team that added Budenholzer as their coach, and we were like, championship aspirations, maybe. Now they don't even make the play-in. He's like scrambling to find any starting lineup that could work. Obviously, like any injection of defense, which was non-existent. And then, now we're just going to trade two of our three best players. I mean, this is one way they could go. And then the one guy we're keeping is the guy that nobody wants, of course. Nor does he want to go anywhere because he's going to be getting paid another, $110 million, whatever Beal has on his deal. It's just brutal.
Yes.
It's brutal, but this seems like to be the only way to move here because I think you're just putting yourself into the hole if you just ran it back with Devin Booker. At a certain point, the 30 to 35 wins, it's going to be tiresome, and then you're just going to get less in return, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's the old sunk cost. We got nothing, so let's move forward and change the horizon for this team because it is extremely bleak. That being said, Matt Ishbia, their owner, just went and paid a ton for Kevin Durant and said, we'll pay whatever for Bradley Beal to try and put this together. Is he going to just turn 180 degrees and be able to say, you know what, we'll just go in another direction? Or will he just hold on to Devin Booker and just try and build around him? Again, no picks, just nothing to do. Not incredible talent around him. So that's the sunk cost thing. Although I will say a winner in all this is Mike Budenholzer. Yes, it's extremely bleak in Phoenix, but that guy just signed a 5-year, $50 million deal last season. So, if they decide, if their only way to go is let's get rid of this guy, I mean, it's as big a heist as Monty Williams with the Detroit Pistons. He'll be paid another 4 for $40 just to hang out. The Arizona native will be happy to just hang out there. So, yeah, it ain't bright, but it's just a fun way to look at it for them. Something not so fun, the Denver Nuggets. So there's our second loser of the week. We have to comment. I know you talked about it yesterday, but just to further go into this extremely unique scenario, to axe both your general manager and your head coach this late in the season on a winning team, obviously with a guy you can call the best player in the league doing what he's doing out there. It's such a unique scenario because the confrontation between Mike Malone as a head coach and GM Calvin Booth is real. You listen to the DNVR podcast, those guys who they know and feel everything going on in that arena. They're
plugged in.
Yeah, they absolutely can see how much they don't like each other and just butt heads. And it is.
And this isn't over the last week. I mean, this is for a long time now.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, you can read the quotes. Great job by Tony Jones and Sam Amick writing up it's very evident. If you break it all down, you hear Michael Malone say things like, quote, "We're playing a lot of guys that have no idea what big games are about." I mean, that's just a call out of Calvin Booth. And he praised Russ over and over, and he wanted to play him. And you saw how David Adelman, their new head coach, was different in his first game. He went young when Westbrook was not working out a couple times in their game there against Portland. Or excuse me, that wasn't against Portland. But how David Adelman said, "All right, we got to sit you down. Jalen Pickett, you're out there." Twice. And it worked out for him. But Malone lost the locker room. There's no doubt about that. I mean, he said it after the loss versus Portland. He said, quote, "They're not going to go back and watch their minutes," referring to his players, because nobody watches their minutes. Nobody watches film. I mean, he kind of knew. I assume that the writing was on the wall to some degree here. And we're watching Jokic and him having his best run. And he was asked, were you consulted about this thing? And he said, quote, if you go to the piece on The Athletic, he said he found out about the moves a little bit before everybody, but declined to further elaborate on what team president Josh Kroenke told him about it during their meeting. He said, quote, "Josh told me we made a decision, so it was not a discussion, it was a decision," as Jokic said. So they've gone to David Adelman, and the Calvin Booth scenario here, the Kroenkes decided your contract is coming up, and he's an incredible scout. According to our guys at the DNVR podcast, people around the league say Calvin Booth is an incredible scout, one of the best scouts. However, running a front office may be a little bit different, so they've decided to part in two different directions. Your guy running the front office and your head coach. And so David Adelman definitely different and not just banking on Jokic playing 40 minutes. In his only game as a coach, he said he didn't say this. He basically showed that Jokic sat more at the beginning of the second quarter, and they went to other guys. His overall usage went down when he was on the floor. Right. So he's trying other things. It is such an interesting scenario here.
Oh, it is.
Because Jamal Murray should be back. So this team is so damn good, but they've fallen apart lately. I mean, they lost 4 in a row. The locker room was not there for Michael Malone.
The two crazy parts about the decision to fire the GM and the coach with a week to go in the regular season were, one, of course, the timing. We just don't see it all that often, even though the Grizzlies just did it as well. But two, to me, is, okay, these two guys are butting heads, the front office and the coach. Who should you play? Oh, you don't have the right guys. Get me better guys. All this, right? To then fire both of them. Because usually you would be like, ownership would be like, all right, I'm siding with said GM, or I'm siding with our winningest coach in NBA or in our franchise history. And you pick one side or the other. But for them to be like, both get out of here.
Yeah.
It's just, that's weird to me. And just sort of starting fresh here at of course the weird timing of it also. We'll see if they have he kept saying, I don't know if you saw that interview with Josh Kroenke, like saying like there's still juice to be squeezed. So he kept saying, he said it like 3 or 4 times. He like salvage this season with the shakeup here. Getting David Adelman in there. So
yeah,
I don't have a lot of confidence in that, but you do have Jokic, so.
Well, yeah, they are a good team. I think that they could find a ways to win some games as they beat the Kings in their first game with David Adelman out there. Jokic said, "quote, there's something different out there. We definitely feel different." And you see Jokic, you see Jamal Murray. This team ain't all that different. No disrespect to Bruce Brown and Jeff Green and Davis Caldwell-Pope. But it ain't all that different from a team that won the championship if Jamal Murray is playing. Yeah. I understand why, or having watched this team for a long time, why they got rid of Calvin Booth. Because they don't pay front office executives all that much. No. So Calvin Booth's contract coming up at the end of this year. We've seen it before. We've seen it with Masai Ujiri, who left. You saw it with Tim Connolly, who left to go to Minnesota. They don't want to pay all that much. So I suppose it's because his contract was coming up. This must be part of it. It's just weird. It's just weird they wouldn't hold on to him and say goodbye to Michael Malone. An odd situation. Can't wait to see them in the playoffs. Final nominee here for worst of the week is a Spurs fan at a team event, because it is a strange video that came through from this guy who goes up to David Robinson, the legendary David Robinson, in an event where it's only photos allowed. Everybody knows there are only photos allowed. And this fan has a David Robinson jersey in his hand to get signed by David Robinson. And when Robinson tells him, no autographs, this guy just drops the jersey in front of David Robinson on the ground and then walks away and leaves the jersey there because he wasn't getting it signed, I suppose. Somebody tries to hand him the jersey. Here, you dropped this jersey. The guy said, he didn't say, but he just walked away. He just left. I don't want that jersey because I can't get it signed. That's a disrespect to a legendary player. That is just strange. Well, what's your
That's take? A weird clip. He drops it so quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, you keep calling him a Spurs fan. I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, he may not be.
This guy screams, I'd love to sell this jersey, signed jersey on eBay.
It's all about the money.
Yeah, so
it's about money for sure.
He just gives up so quickly is my thing. It's like, okay, I know I'm not supposed to be asking for an autograph, but he obviously goes up and it looks like David says no and sort of is wiping his hands or whatever, and then he's like, okay, just drops it. I don't know. Give it a little more effort. Come on, Mr. Robinson, please. It'd be great. And now he's wasting money. Where'd he get the jersey from?
Yeah, I don't know. Looks to be a David Robinson jersey because there's a 5 on it. I think there's an R that you see because you can only see the half, only one part of the numbers. But it's just, to me, he ain't getting his money, so he just leaves it there. Yeah, and I guess you can say you could take that jersey and sell it for $5.
Who is filming that too?
I don't know.
Why was that being filmed? Just randomly, here's David Robinson standing in front of some cars, and this is cool.
And then, I don't know.
My point is, it's not related to the guy. The guy that's dropping the jersey, hey, watch this. He's not going to sign this.
So.
I don't think so either.
He's behind the barrier, right?
Yeah.
I think.
I'm just trying to make sense of it all. It's very weird.
Who the
camera person is behind the barrier.
You don't think the camera person is linked with the guy in the gray hoodie who drops the jersey at all?
I don't think so.
So you just think it's odd. It's just random timing. Someone was filming.
Yeah, just somebody.
Robinson.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It could literally be an employee of the Spurs.
I guess.
It's extremely strange. It is one of those situations like we saw earlier this year with Wembanyama, where the dad got the autograph and then wanted to sell that thing. This feels like a similar scenario where it's a classic fan now just wanting to make money.
Didn't the dad with the Wembanyama, the little funny kid jersey and all that photo, he sold the jersey? Mm-hmm. And didn't he wanted more money, did he not? And he wanted to pull it down from the auction house?
Yeah. It was agreed to. The thing was sold, but the money, I guess,
he didn't like how much it went for.
Yeah, I want it back.
It's I thought that would go for a lot more.
Yeah, those fans definitely deserve it of worst of the week. Yeah. Thank you to Matthew C. Vaughn for the heads up. And Reddit's Plug and Play. His username is Plug and Play.
Good name.
Yeah. And Mr. Buck for sharing it as well. There's so many people.
What is this, tweet of the week?
Yeah, well, those three. Just
Wow.
three. MC Vaughn, Plug and Play, Mr. Buck. For that man trying to make a buck.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe that was
sad.
Mr. Buck.
Yeah.
For all we know. I'll give myself a quick worst of the week just for some snubs from my snubs when I did my 10 All-NBA teams. Did that yesterday. Pretty good response. People seem to get a kick out of it. But some good names I just want to share that I did not have on one of my 10 All-NBA teams, which you can go back and listen or watch on Thursday's show. Isaiah Hartenstein. Probably overlooked him.
Yeah.
Brooke Lopez. I think they're
Games
on.
played Hartenstein.
Yeah, but he's got enough for what I was looking for. I wanted
Okay.
50 plus. Chet Holmgren does not, by the way, so that's why he was not included. But
Okay.
Hartenstein, Brooke Lopez, I think they could have been at least snubs. I should have named them. Should have said, what about this guy? And then Denny Avdia.
Disrespect.
I definitely was sort of making fun of the Blazers roster. Nobody was in the mix. I probably overlooked Avdia. But I mean, that's a bit of a second half, really turn on. He's been awesome. And then Lou Dort. That one's tough. I guess you can maybe make a case for Caruso, but Lou Dort is damn good. I was considering defense as a pretty important part of basketball, and he's an elite perimeter defender that's going to get a Defensive Player of the Year's vote. So, yeah, Lou Dort should have probably be in there. So my apologies.
Who does he replace, though? That's always the question.
Oh, who does he replace? Tas. I can't do that. Jeez.
Yeah, because Lou Dort is deserved. There's no doubt. He's freaking Lou Dort.
It's okay, you get into this. Is Lou Dort more deserving of an 8th, 9th, or 10th All-NBA selection over Jamal Murray, over Devin Booker, over Tyrese Maxey, who just hit over 50 games, over, going on and on and on, those type of
RJ
players.
Barrett.
Trey Young. I don't think so. RJ Barrett I had as a forward. Yeah, I mean, I consider Dort more of he plays small forward and guard. So yeah, you can put him and slot him in either. Okay, Lou Dort or Derek White? Who's had a better season? That's tough. That's not easy.
I would put White out there. That's hard. You're right. I mean, Lou Dort or Josh Hart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now you're taking a look at you. You're taking a look at my list. Good stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's
tough.
good.
Anyway,
You had Reeves on there.
Yeah, apologies.
I know
A lot
were.
of people wanted Reeves way higher.
Yeah.
I think people wanted Reeves on one of the actual All-NBA teams. No. Top 3, I'm saying.
Yeah.
No.
Too high.
Yeah, too high. All right, before we go, let's have some rapid fire fun. I got the questions. I'll also answer with you guys, being that there's only 3 of us here. So first one, LeBron James has made history once again, this time in the toy aisle. Mattel has announced the release of a new Barbie in LeBron's likeness, making him the first professional male athlete to be honored as a Ken doll. To reflect Bron's height, by the way, the doll is an inch taller than the standard Ken doll, which I think that's a nice little touch. And I saw a video of them handing this to LeBron, and he was like, whoa, this is awesome. Though he did note that his doll needs to hit the gym and work on his legs.
Said the pants were too thin.
Yeah, he's got some skinny legs. So my question off of this, what NBA/kids toy collab would you like to see next? You can pick any toy and any sort of NBA tie-in. You want to go?
This was hard.
Was it?
I had to go deep. At first, I thought that LeBron doll looked great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I think it looked great. I got no problem with the pants. But I don't know. I'm not
Barbies
thick.
are skinny, Laurent. Sorry.
Yeah.
They're still they're not too thin. It's not like he was wearing skinny pants.
No,
I mean,
they look good.
They're legs.
They're slimming pants.
Yeah, which he's worn before. I know he's
He's
built like a
definitely
truck.
worn that before, I feel like. Yeah.
Those are cool pants. I remember them back in the starters days at NBA TV when we had a photo shoot. I got to wear pants like that, which I never wear.
Right.
They were super tight. And the last time I fit in them was that day. Anyways, I think they look cool. And Richard Jefferson saying LeBarbie on the broadcast. Yeah. Oh, it's funny. I'm good with it.
LeBarbie, LeKen. Yeah. LeKen doll. I saw it going around.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, I found this hard.
Okay.
I went with a Tamagotchi.
Okay.
Because those things are cool. You train them. You feed them. You learn. Or they learn. And as a user, you learn how to grow up, be stronger, be better. And
Okay.
so if I'm making the next brand, I'm going with the Tamagotchi, which I don't know if they still exist, but I would use them.
So an NBA spin though.
Yeah,
So
anybody. You're training it like LeBron. I mean, to be a
player.
better
Yeah.
player, I guess.
Okay.
I see what you mean. Yeah,
I guess.
It's the players within the thing.
Yeah, I guess. If we're doing a collab, yeah.
Yeah, it's like instead of feeding it or stuffing it, like you're like getting it in the gym and it's
Yeah.
working
Right.
out and
Yeah.
it's drinking water.
But you're also feeding it.
And
Important.
naps.
You had to feed it too.
For LeBron.
Naps. Big.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I was looking for. What do you got, JD?
Well, I mentioned, I think yesterday or the day before, about Tyler Hero and how he's a big pickleball guy.
Yep.
And I'm an ambassador for the game of pickleball, and I want kids to get into it. So I'd like to see a Tyler Hero pickleball set.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, of just you get 4 paddles, a couple of balls, maybe a net. Set it up in the driveway, and let the kids go crazy.
Okay, so like just
good move.
pickleball set branded with
Branded
with
with Tyler Hero. Yeah.
Yeah, because
great idea.
does pickleball lack coolness?
How dare you?
Well, no, I just wonder. I mean,
This is what I'm trying to change.
That's what I mean.
yes,
That's
This is what I want. Like,
yeah. Looking at Tyler Hero, that's what you're selling, right?
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's
So-
cooler than Tyler Hero?
In the NBA.
Maybe, possibly LeBron, but you know,
Yeah.
Tyler Hero's a young guy.
Yeah.
He says he's better at pickleball than basketball. I found the clip. I thought, as it was leaving my mouth yesterday, I was like, this can't be right.
I'm making this up.
But I did find the clip.
Wow.
I'm not going to play it, but
Okay.
he definitely says that.
Okay.
Is
I
he
like
joking? I don't know. He seems pretty serious.
I bet he's not joking.
I don't think so.
Like, I think a lot of these guys, you've heard a lot of these NBA guys say, like, oh, yeah, I could play in the NFL or I could do this more,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Anthony Edwards thinks he could win, like, every medal at the Olympics. And I believe he believes it.
Yeah, I believe that he
It's
believes
like, give me
it as
2
well.
weeks and I'll win every event. It's like, yeah, they're psychotic, these guys. Okay, great answers. My answer for this is I think we need a basketball version of Bop It.
Ooh.
Or Bop It?
Yeah.
Right? So we
Hell
need
yeah.
a Bop It B-ball.
Okay.
So the classic game, for those that don't know, it's like you got to do those like the actions, right? It tells you to bop it or twist it or pull it.
Yeah.
And then there's like ton of other variations. Like they go next level
Yeah.
now, where it's like they like use a motion sensor. So it's like whip it,
Yeah.
drink it, hammer it. And there's like a million things.
Yeah.
So why not like a basketball version where it's bounce it,
Yeah.
spin it, shoot it, pass it, obviously, dunk it even.
Yeah.
I think there's something there. I can't believe this doesn't exist.
Yeah. There's pass it and bop it.
Well, there
right?
is pass it
They-
and
they
bop
say
it, so
bop,
that one
yeah.
works. Chest pass it. Yeah. But dribble it would be fun, or bounce it would be cool if
Totally.
you could do that. Like they
Yeah.
could make it almost like a basketball. I don't know how you do that. Anyway, free ideas. Okay, next one. Remember how Adam Silver told John Morant not to do the gun celebration, and then he did the gun celebration, and then the league hit him with a $75,000 fine. Well, John Morant has a few new celebrations, which includes, and we saw it again last night, miming throwing a grenade into the crowd. And then I think he did do a bit of an assault rifle or whatever weapon that was. So he's leaning into this. I want to know, what's another weapon-related celebration on the horizon that we could see, either from John Morant or some player?
Well, I'm okay with finger guns.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the John Morant usage, that ain't, like you just called it a rifle. I mean, it looks way too authentic. It looks like a real gun.
Okay.
But finger guns, you can't get rid of that. I think they're just fun. They're fun to do, and they're underutilized. I'd
Okay.
say
So
in terms of
little pew-pews.
yeah, just pew pews. Yeah,
Cowboy style.
yeah.
Spin
From
them,
the
put it
hip,
back.
yeah.
But
Oh, that's a good call.
that got banned, I swear. Right? Wasn't Joakim Noah doing that back in the day? And people were starting to get in trouble for finger guns even, yeah.
Well, yeah. I didn't realize. Yeah, you put it in the holster. It's very different. That makes it feel like a gun. You know, you're throwing it somewhere, but just a pew pew. It seems fun. It seems more fun, but
Okay.
it is way more fun to put it in a holster. That's definitely more fun.
Yeah. And do you blow out the
So
smoke.
yeah. What do you have, JD?
Yeah, I'm going back in time
Yeah.
to either the worst or the best weapon you would find in the Coliseum, you know? The net and trident, okay?
Okay.
So it's two. It's like throw the net,
Yeah.
stab the guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
That part I like. Just
I like the trident. I had it in my notes as well. I almost went with it.
But the net with it. That's
I
part
didn't think
of
of the net.
It's very, Poseidon, right?
Yeah.
Like catch the fish and stab it.
Yeah.
Very satisfying.
Okay, so you see me hitting a three, then I throw
toss the net.
and then I go like that.
Boom. Yeah.
All right. It's no
not bad,
weirder
right?
than a lot of these
Exactly.
celebrations.
Exactly.
I love it. My answer
Yeah.
for this was I don't think he does it anymore, or at least I haven't seen it in a long time, but I want to bring back the bow and arrow celebration.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray's blue arrow, right? Taking the quiver out. Wesley Matthews used to do that as well.
I feel like somebody else does
I
it.
love it, but I feel like we don't see it as much anymore.
Yeah, I can't.
At least Jamal Murray hasn't pulled it out in a while. Maybe we'll see it in the play-in or postseason. But I love us. Oh, I just think it looks cool, a little Legolas style.
Two pieces are good.
Yeah.
The trident with the net. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bow and arrow. That's nice to have two parts. Like there's some cool ones out there. Like I do like Pascal Siakam with his sort of horizontal jazz hands. He just kind of shakes them. But and even mine with the finger guns, it's not enough.
What about Zion Williamson should do like a Zorro Z?
Oh, yeah.
Sword.
With the sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of cool.
I like that.
I was talking swords with Danielle today. Maybe swords.
Talking
Or like
swords.
fencing.
Yeah.
Oh, fencing. Two guys, two teammates
Yeah.
doing a
So
little.
it's too. Here's the problem.
Yes.
This is the Fortnite. This is Call of Duty. All these basketball players
Yeah.
are playing these games. Like my kid knows way too much about guns. Just from these
Yeah,
games.
yeah, of
So they're into it. It's not like real life. It's like
Yeah.
playing these video games. So
good point.
we need like a Zelda or something to get hot again. And then all these bow and arrow and stuff. Right?
Right, like Red Dead Redemption.
Well, that's guns too. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
What happened to this?
Gotta add
The
the
news.
horse.
Yeah, horse. Horse is fun.
Jokic
Yeah.
should do a horse celebration.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, it's like. Oh, you reminded me of Vince Carter, like motorcycle stuff.
Oh yeah.
What happened to the new Zelda? Quick question.
I don't know.
mean, it's fairly new.
I'm out of the game, Tas. I have to admit.
I thought it was gonna be good.
Oh,
The new one.
have you played it?
No,
Oh.
I'm too lazy. I see it and I'm like, yeah, I used to like it, so I'm gonna
Same.
bring it back.
Yeah.
But hasn't happened.
Final one. Big story this week. Luka fighting back tears during that touching tribute from the Mavs ahead of his first game back in Dallas. So I just want to know, what makes you emotional or what makes you cry? This could be anything. Could be a song, could be a movie, could be a show, could be a memory. What do you got?
You know what? I got emotional when I saw the top 5 phrases that TV broadcasters shouldn't say while covering the Masters. I cried out of sadness when I read this.
What?
I know.
Okay.
It sounds crazy because these are the actual sayings they're not supposed to say. I found this. They can't say fan. They must say patron. They can't say fan because it kind of tells people they may be a fanatic, and they don't want their broadcaster saying that. They can't say rough. They must say second cut.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. They can't say sand trap. They must say bunker.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, that's fine, I guess.
I guess. Whatever. Yeah. They can't say driving range. They must say tournament practice facility.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
What's,
Why?
because it ain't prestigious enough, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
A driving range.
That's
I guess.
all of these they're trying
Yeah.
to make sound more
Yeah.
proper.
Yeah. And they can't say back 9. They must say second 9. I mean, it is frowned upon for the broadcasters to say that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just that's the way it is. Dan Shanoff on The Athletic broke it down via the Barstool Sports interview of a broadcaster who he came out and said, "This is what we're encouraged not to say." Yeah, they can be reprimanded if they say instead of saying second cut, they say rough. I find that one hilarious.
Yeah.
You imagine
It's rough. The grass is rough.
Yeah. Can you imagine the controversy if Jim Nance was fired because he said
Yeah.
a shot went into the rough or into the sand pit or whatever
Yeah.
you're not allowed to say?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Pass Melas at home. It's a sand trap, goddammit.
Yeah.
Weeping.
He's crying.
So sad.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that was the question.
Yeah, that's the question. It's a weird answer
It
for
makes
that
him
question.
emotional.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do some nice napping this weekend, though.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, nothing like golf on the
Nothing
TV puts me to sleep. And I'm not a napper. Well, man, you put that on, that soft whispering voice, the bird sounds, and just
golf clap.
Golf clap.
Coming in
Oh, I
waves,
mean,
yeah.
I'll fall asleep instantaneously. I can't wait.
The only time you fall asleep is watching golf.
I mean, not a lot. Not a lot puts me to sleep.
It's also very soothing that the announcer is talking.
Yeah.
Very, very quietly.
Yeah.
It's a little ASMR for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
JD, what makes you emotional or maybe cry?
Well, I don't get emotional very much,
No.
but I thought of one movie where I made me cry. And when I say cry, I mean single tear, wipe it away. It's My Left Foot. Every time
Really?
I watch it, Daniel Day-Lewis. What the hell is the character's name? Can't remember. Anyway, he can only use his left foot, and he writes on the floor, "Mother." Gets me every time. I don't know.
Okay.
They think he can't communicate. They think he's not intelligent. The man went on to write books, with his foot.
Is that an 80s movie? Late 80s?
Yeah.
Did he win for that?
I think so.
Yeah, he must have.
Must have.
I haven't seen that in a very long time. Since the 90s, I haven't
Gets you.
seen it.
And when you have kids, you're like,
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what gets me recently. Or every season I've watched it, but I just watched the latest season. Have you guys watched Love on the Spectrum?
Yes.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it's a good one.
yeah.
I'll take a goddamn bullet for any of these young adults.
I'd lay down in traffic for any.
Oh
of these
my God.
kids.
I swear to God, I would.
Yeah.
They are so sweet. You root for them so much. Like, they're the purest humans in the world. And I love it. Especially Connor. Oh my God. My guy Connor. I don't want to spoil anything, but great season for Connor. Tanner. All of them. But, oh my God. It's so good. And I love that show.
Yeah, same.
And obviously the awareness around autism, and it's pretty a special show. So Love on the Spectrum gets me. We just watched it, Nora and I, the 3rd season, and there was a few tearing up. Yep. So that's what I would suggest if you haven't seen it. It is a beautiful show, feel good show.
It is.
All right, we'll call it there. That's rapid fire. Sort of rapid this week. Not so bad. We sort of move with some pace. If you're a Survivor fan, we had a blast yesterday talking to Rome Cooney from Survivor 47. He was one of the pre-merge stars, or at least a very polarizing character. He came on to break down the latest episode of Survivor 48. He was awesome. Talking about the episode, talking about the season. We got into some of the controversy around him from his season, and a lot of talk about Survivor 50. So if you're a Survivor fan, really recommend this one. JD, Nora, myself talking to Rome. We posted that yesterday. It's on No Buff's YouTube feed and podcast feed. So please check it out if you're a Survivor fan, and maybe share it. But that's it for us here today. Final weekend of the regular season, baby. Next week, we start talking about the play-in games. We start doing our playoff previews for the series that we know, which start next weekend. And then we're off and running for the second part of the season. The real second part.
We'll be watching playing tournament games. There's no doubt that we'll be tuning into that.
Can't wait. That's next season. Next season. That's next week. The start of the second season. So hopefully you'll join us. Hit the like button, subscribe, podcast listeners, 5-star ratings and reviews. Our guy Trey will be back. We'll have the whole squad here today. I think we got to do the Esh Pick 'em Payoff.
Oh yeah.
Next week.
It's on the list.
We're going to have the Nut Dust payoff as well. Whoever's last place between Tas and Trey. I didn't even look at the standings.
It's currently tied.
Oh my. Oh my.
Yes. Comes down to the last weekend.
So we got a lot coming up next week, so hopefully you guys will join us. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, the second season for the NHL also starts soon. Playoffs start soon. I don't know when. But just wanted to point out the Flames only have an 8% chance of making the playoffs.
Uh-oh.
What happened to the Flames I know? 8% chance.
I thought there was a chance like all the Canadian teams were going to make the playoffs. Is that still in the mix?
I don't know.
At one point it was.
8% is still a chance.
That's right.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
See Ovechkin beat Gretzky?
You did. You did. A lot of goals.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. 895. How do you do it?
And then not on some empty netter either. It was an actual goal.
No, he has scored more goals on an empty net
Yeah,
than
but
Gretzky, but it's pretty close.
But the record-breaking goal wasn't an
No. It was a beauty. It was a classic Ovechkin. Hockey. We're going to start our hockey podcast next week as well. So we got a busy week. So make sure you subscribe to that as well. Everybody enjoy the last weekend of the regular season. We'll see you on Monday. Brace the day, people.